If you always end up browsing Netflix without knowing what to watch, well, you're not alone. So I thought I'd do you a favor and suggest some Netflix movies that I think are awesome. In this episode, I'm gonna suggest to you the best Malaysian movies on Netflix. Coming up.
Sharray Show.
Hey, what's up guys, gang? This is Shah Halim and you're watching The Sharray Show, where I help you guys decide whether a movie in the cinema or on Netflix is worth watching. If you're watching this right now, then probably you love movies just as much as the next guy. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe and also click on the bell so that you could discuss, agree, disagree on movies. So without further ado, here are my five suggested Malaysian movies that are on Netflix right now. Number 5, Police Evo 1 and 2. Okay, well, technically these are 2 movies. Just consider that as a bonus. The Police Evo series is basically a buddy cop action movie, much in the veins of Bad Boys, Lethal Weapon. The series revolves around 2 characters. Inspector Sunny, who is a local Terengganu inspector, and Inspector Kai, who is a KL super cop. Different personalities clash together, makes good movies. Police Evo 1, the good character development, good chemistry, not so typical villains and henchmen, because it's not your I want to do evil kind of thing, you know, I'm bad. No. The villain in Police Evo 1, it actually took me by surprise. He didn't look like your typical villain. Balance, drama, action and comedy. You have action, of course, obviously. Comedy because Zizan Razak is a comedian and Shaizi Sam is an awesome actor. And there's actually drama, you know, when the conflict came in. Awesome performances by Zizan. Also, the action, you can see there is a strong influence from Hollywood action movies in Police Evo 1. The Bad. It still had its cheesy moments and some typical Malay movie syndrome, but it's really hard not to suggest watching this movie directed by Gaz Abu Bakar. What about Police Evo 2? It's basically Police Evo 1 on steroids. It does whatever Police Evo 1 did well, even better. The good? It has more action than Police Evo 1, better choreographed scenes, better storyline. The villain, oh my god, the villain played by Hasnul Rahmat, he is like a religious cult leader. And the henchmen also actually, they had their own story, you know. They were like 2 brothers, something like what happened in Die Hard. Yeah, there was some Die Hard influence in Police Evo 2, which was a good thing. The Bad, nothing that I can think of. Maybe just some cringe-worthy dialogue by Hasnul Rahmat in some scenes. Other than that, it was a pretty solid movie. Number 4, Crossroads, One to Jaga. Okay, the local title for this movie was One to Jaga, but the international movie, they just added Crossroads in front. I don't know why. This film by Namron didn't really hit it in the local cinemas, but I don't really blame the movie. I think because the movie was a bit too gritty, a bit too raw for Malaysian mass audiences. I actually love the movie because of those reasons. One to Jaga tells the story about corrupt cops, you know, taking bribes from business owners, you know, those who actually use foreign workers. There is this one character played by Zahiril Azim, who is a fresh-faced rookie cop who wants to do right, and when he finds out about the corrupted cops and corruption in the police force, he tries to be the hero and, you know, tries to fight corruption, make justice prevail, all that kind of thing. In the end, it all turned into a big, huge shithole because, well, when everybody is desperate to survive, what can you do? The Good. An easy to follow storyline despite having multiple character plots, you know, interweaving in and out. It was well written and the flow was just nice. And at the end, it neatly tied all the branching plots from different characters. It tied really well. It was so real and relatable that actually the whole movie kind of made me question, can you really do the right things when everyone around you is so desperate to survive? The Bad. I would say that the ending was a bit too artistic and deep for my liking, It was actually a very good ending. It just took me some time to really understand that artsy cinematography. Number 3, Fly By Night. Okay, this movie actually caught me by surprise. When the trailer came out, I thought it was just a typical crime caper kind of film. It turned out to be quite good. This movie is directed by Zahid Omar, and it tells a story about a group of taxi drivers who have a side job. They extort wealthy passengers. It was done really well. They have their strategies, and when gangsters got involved, corrupted cops got involved. Also, one of their extortion victims kind of got involved and hired them to actually extort another person. Oh, that actually just made the whole plot much more interesting. The actors are top notch. I don't actually really know them, but they were damn good. Their characters were so memorable. Bron Palari was in here as the corrupted cop. He also actually played a big role, quite an important role towards the end. The character development was superb. The movie started out without giving any backstory to these characters. You kind of get to know each character. One is a hothead, one is the calm leader, one is the ex-convict. They kind of grow on you towards the end of the film. So the way they managed to develop these characters in such a short period of time without any backstories, to me, is a job well done. The pacing of the story was just nice. That ending, the ending, it was really short and impactful. And actually, this is the first time I had to Google up what that ending meant or what people were talking about that ending. It was like open to interpretation. So that's what I like about the ending. The bad, there were some scenes where the characters did, or the characters' actions, they were not consistent with their arc. You felt that at that moment what he did or what that character did was really out of place. Yeah, I'm just nitpicking. It got a bit confusing, but it didn't really hurt the movie overall. Number 2, Pascal. Yeah, Pascal, which stands for Pasukan Khas Laut, is basically an action movie based on our Malaysian Royal Navy unit, the elite unit, kind of like the Navy SEALs. If you were in Malaysia or you've been living in Malaysia for the past 2 years, you would know a lot about this movie because it is such a good movie. This is the best action movie, a Malaysian movie that I've seen so far. Telling a story of Lieutenant Arman, played by Hairul Azrin, who actually is trying to retire from being a Navy, but somehow, something happened and he was forced to come out of retirement because one of his ex-members, who turned rogue, Jeb, played by Ahmad Alfian, he joined some bad guys. To me, what makes a good action movie is the villain. Because you can't have a good hero if you don't have a good villain. If the villain is just some, wimpy, whiny person, it doesn't seem like it will be a threat to the hero, right? But this is not the case. With Pascal, since the villain is an ex-Royal Navy member, so he is as smart as the hero, and he also poses a big threat physically. The reasons for him being a villain started from a distorted view of what's right and wrong. It's logic. Some people just turn bad because they understand things differently. Also, the action scenes were, thanks to some real training to the actors and consultation to the directors of how the Navy does it. The choreography, the fight scenes, the gunfights, they were all super awesome. The bad, probably I got a bit confused with Arman's mother because the actress who plays the mother started off wearing a hijab and then suddenly she didn't wear a hijab But that wasn't the point. That wasn't the problem. It's just that she looked totally different without the hijab and with the hijab. So I got confused. Oh, is this Arman's mother? Oh, okay. Number 1, The Kid from the Big Apple. Oh my god, this movie. Please, I beg you, watch this movie. Watch The Kid from the Big Apple. It came out in 2016. I just watched it on Netflix. This movie, directed by Jess Tiong, tells the story about an 11-year-old girl, Sarah, who was born in New York. She's this girl from a different culture, coming back to Malaysia, learning about local culture, and then getting to know her grandfather, you know, that kind of story. The good. This movie is equal parts charming, equal parts touching, and sad. Oh man. It's really a good tale of clashing cultures and generations, as well as a lot of very funny, heartwarming, fish out of water situations. Every character in this movie is memorable. From Sarah herself, she's such a talented little girl, to her grandfather, who's a Hong Kong actor if I'm not mistaken. Their neighbours, their nosy neighbours, the children, the kid actors, they were really amazing. They were so natural and believable. You wouldn't even think that, oh, this is a drama. No, they were just so natural and so cute. The scene stealer has to be the chubby, cheeky boy called Abao in this movie. He is so funny, and I would say he is also the highlight of the movie. Overall, the whole flow, the pacing of the movie, it was really done well. The audio that they used, the music that they used, oh my god, it was so... The characters were so real, and the development was superb that towards the third act, I have to admit, I actually burst out crying. Yes, I burst into tears, man. It was because whenever you're telling a story about family, I give up. The bad, I think the only bad thing is that the movie ended. So if you haven't watched The Kid from the Big Apple, please, I beg you, go switch on Netflix, go find The Kid from Big Apple, watch it, and you won't regret it. Trust me. So that's it for my suggestion of the best flicks on Netflix Malaysian edition. So do you have a Netflix movie that you'd like to recommend me? Drop your suggestions below in the comments, and most probably if I haven't watched it yet, I will watch it and review it. Be sure to check out my other videos on my channel. Give these videos a thumbs up if you like it, a thumbs down if you don't like it, if you think I can improve more. See you in the next episode. Pow pow.